So this week we're all talking all about Facebook ads, demystified, and that is the topic of the week. So make sure you have your notes. I'm going to go over a lot of stuff really quick. If you want to take notes, and then if you have any questions, just like write them down, and we'll do like a whole question answer at the end. So any questions you have about Facebook ads, just write them down, and we'll do those all together. So, all right. I want to just get this out there. Like, I'm not an expert at Facebook ads. I just know enough to be dangerous. So I've spent a lot of money on Facebook ads, doing testing, like losing money, making money. So last month we spent probably like $4,000 in Facebook ads. So I did a lot of testing, and we were able to be profitable with those ads as well. So yeah, so that's like a win. So a lot of people do Facebook ads and they just like lose money, and then they never do Facebook ads again. But the name of the game with Facebook ads is testing. Like, it's all about testing. And I'm going to show you guys a couple ways where you can test ads and be profitable, or use other people's testing to fast track your testing. And I'll explain what that means in a little bit. So let's see here. Facebook ads is like, it's kind of like a complex beast. It's like a airplane cockpit. There's like so many buttons, there's so many things you can do, but you really have to learn how to do like one thing at a time. And that's really the key with Facebook ads. So through this presentation, I want to go through just kind of like the basics of Facebook ads, but then we're going to get into some advanced techniques as well. But it's key that you know the basics first before you dive in, before you get too deep into Facebook ads. So we got 5 sections, and the first one is foundation. And so these are things you're going to want to do like, right when you're setting up your Facebook ad campaign. So I guess by show of hands, who here has like run a Facebook ad before, just so I know? Okay, so almost everyone? Yes, everyone? Okay, cool. So you guys probably know all this stuff already, but I just want to make sure you're doing all these things. And the first one is the Facebook pixel. Facebook pixel is like one of the most important things you can do. So if you haven't done this yet, like, do it today, because like even if you're not going to run a Facebook ad, it's like super key that you have a pixel installed on your website. And so what is a pixel? It is like, it's kind of like it's like Facebook's tracking device, right? So like, you put this little code on your website, and then Facebook will track everyone that comes to your website, and they'll just like kind of throw this tracking device on them. And it helps you do so many things throughout Facebook ads, and you can do a lot of really cool stuff with the Facebook pixel. So I'll show you guys really quick where to find that. If you've never put it on your website before, this is how you get to it. You go over here to this little sidebar. Hold on, let me get out of this so you guys can see. Okay, you can see my screen. So over here, you go to manage ads. This takes you to like the back end of your Facebook ads manager. And then you click this guy here. This is where you kind of have like all your stuff, like there's all these things, and pixels is right here. So to get this code, you go to pixels, you choose whatever Facebook page that you want to have the pixel kind of attached to. So if I go to this one here, you basically just click this setup button, and then Facebook has all these tutorials that help you walk through like how to get the code on your website. But basically you just get this like, you get all this code right here, and you put it in your website. It doesn't show up anywhere, but then it's going to track people. So I actually like, you can test this out. So I went to dollarshaveclub.com, and there's this little Chrome pixel helper. You can click right here, and you can see it's working right there. So you can see they have a Facebook pixel right there. And actually, like, I went to this website earlier, and then I was on Facebook, and I saw an ad from them. So that's like what the pixel can do, is like people that visit your website, you can retarget them and send them ads. So it's really, really helpful. And you can do some really advanced stuff with the Facebook pixel. So you can have like custom audiences built based on where people go on your website, right? So if someone gets to your booking page, or they get to your packages, or they get to, they add a product to a cart and they don't buy it, they can all be like tracked, and then you can like retarget them based on what you want them to do. So like if I went to Dollar Shave Club and I added one of their products to my cart, which I should just do right now, because like let's shop kits. I want this one. Wow, this site's super cool. So checkout here. Oh yeah, I'll add that too. Great. Okay, so let's see here. I don't think they've tracked me yet. Continue to check out. Continue Facebook. Okay. And now they're definitely gonna send me ads. Okay, so once I get to the checkout cart, you can see right here the Facebook Pixel Helper. This is a free tool. So I just completed registration and I viewed this page here. So now I'm gonna get a whole different set of ads from them. And this is something you guys can do is you can kind of like go to competitors' websites or people who are like have a lot of money, like Dollar Shave Club, and kind of like hack them, see what they're doing with their ads. Go add stuff to your cart and then leave, and then like, see how they like follow up with you. That's definitely a way you can kind of see what's working out there, and that's all with the Facebook Pixel. What's up? The extension is called the Facebook Pixel Helper. It's made by Facebook and just to like check to make sure your pixel's installed correctly. So you can go to your website and click on this, and you can make sure that it's like showing up basically. Okay, so next is creating custom audiences. So from the Facebook Pixel, you can create tons of custom audiences, and you can also create audiences from like your existing list. So this is another thing you want to do like right away. So after you install the Facebook Pixel on your website, you're going to want to create an audience. So you go again up to this little menu right there, and you go to audiences right here. And Facebook's like, they know everything about everyone. It's like crazy. They're like super smart. So you can give them a little bit and you get a lot. So you basically click create audience right here. And what I recommend doing if you guys have like a newsletter list or an existing customer list or anything like that, upload it to Facebook right here. So you just basically click customer file, and then you can like import it straight from MailChimp, or you can add it. I usually just do like upload a CSV or whatever. So you upload your audience to Facebook. I don't think I have one. Let me see if I have one in my downloads. Okay, here's a list. So you upload it just like this. I'm gonna say test, delete. And once you upload this customer list, right? So we got all these names, emails, things like that. Facebook's gonna match those with people on Facebook. And the crazy thing is, what you can do from there is create a lookalike audience. So Facebook can say, here's all your customers, here's all the people that bought from you, here's all whatever. Like, show me a million other people just like those people. So this is a really powerful feature. If you have like an existing list of clients or customers or buyers, you can create a lookalike audience just like this. And you can literally say how big you want these audiences to be. Like, oh, I want it to be, let's see what the audience is. You can set the location. So maybe you like want to target someone in a different country or something like that. But usually I just do United States, create audience, and it's going to create all these lookalike audiences based on your people. So like, for example, I was helping a local gym do ads, and so we just uploaded their customer list, all the people that are currently buying and like subscribe to their gym, and we create a custom audience out of that list, and then we just target it to Chico. So it's going to show them everyone in Chico who's just like the people that are on their list. Now it's not like 100% accurate, but it's going to match people up that are like, into fitness, into health, like into, like eating clean and all these like things that match up with all those people. Facebook takes all that data and they create like a lookalike audience from that. So that's really, really powerful. But another thing you can do is custom audiences based on website traffic. So you can do one based on like who visits your website, like let's make an audience based on those people. So that's a really powerful technique. Like, all the people who you can do like website traffic. There's like this. He's like, I want to make an audience of anyone who's visited my website in the last 3 days. So I recommend like going through this audience thing and just like creating a bunch of audiences right off the bat. Just so when you're doing ads, you have like this like group of people you can send it to. Like, oh, I want to send an ad to someone in the past who's been on my website in the past 3 days. and you just name this like past 3 days or something like that, and you'd have all these audiences. So I have like a million different audiences, but it's helpful just to create like a few right off the bat, and then you kind of can go from there, like creating more audiences as you go and as your pixel gets more seasoned. That's why I tell people, like, put the pixel on your website now, because like if it's not on your website, it's not like collecting that data. So if you put it on now and then you decide to run Facebook ads a year from now, it's gonna have like all that data from people, like who's visiting, what type of people, all those things. Okay, up next is competition spying, and I talked to you guys a little bit about this, but like go to people who are already spending tons of money on Facebook ads and like see what they're doing. So like Facebook ads is all about testing, and you will like lose a little bit of money to start, but if you like copy what's already working from people who are already running ads, it's going to save you a lot of money. So I just went to Dollar Shave Club. Let's see if we get any ads from them. What I do too, like who here like doesn't like seeing Facebook ads in their feed? Is there anyone that's just like annoyed when they see Facebook ads? All right, well, here's a way like you can turn that around and like start loving to see Facebook ads. I actually have this Chrome extension that gets rid of all my Facebook feed except for ads, just so I can look at the Facebook ads, because I like learn so much from them. So whenever you see an ad, like let's scroll down so we see an ad. Okay, so how to pick up chicks. This is Paying June. Oops. He's like a business guy, and I actually bought his book, so he's retargeting me. But you basically, I clicked on it, shoot. Basically, whenever you see an ad, there's this little, here's on here. If you're not making $100,000 in fitness business, blah, blah, blah. So I'm getting this ad because I've been like helping the gym like do their marketing stuff. So I'm getting fitness ads. Basically, all you do is click, why am I seeing this right there? You just click this there and go, why am I seeing this? And they'll kind of tell you like some of the targeting that the gym is using, right? So let's see. Lynn Trin wants to reach people 18 years and older. Okay, this isn't giving me much information, but you'll see sometimes it'll be like people who are into fitness, who live in Chico, who whatever. So it gives you kind of like those targeting things, so you can learn from people like this. And then what I also do is when I see an ad like this, I click here and I save it. I save my post. I don't know if you guys ever use this feature on Facebook, but you can save posts into this little save section on the left side here. Oops, did I click events? Okay, and then I have like collections in here. So if I ever need just inspiration for advertisements, I go to this advertisement tab and I have all my like saved ads in here that we can go check out. Oh, here's the one I got this morning from Dollar Shave Club, because I was just on their website. So they retargeted me with the product that I was looking at on their website. It's crazy. Yeah, I know, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. Like, I think one of the most powerful things is retargeting. So like, I'm trying to think of like, we don't do this for trade creative as much, but like, hey, maybe someone who goes and looks at our, like, we want to shoot more weddings in Charleston, South Carolina, because we shot one wedding in Charleston, it was amazing. We want to shoot more weddings there. So what if we put a pixel, like the pixel on that one page, and we said, anyone who visits that page, the Charleston wedding, like retarget them within 3 days and say something about like whatever, travel. So like you can be really powerful with the retargeting based on where people go on your website. So if they're looking at your packages, like they're definitely like interested, but they might not click that contact button. Through a retargeting ad that's just like, hey, I noticed, I mean, you don't want to like call them out, like, I noticed you're on my website looking at my packages, like, because that's creepy, but like there's creative ways you can do it to retarget them and like remind them, because people like, they have a million tabs open. They might not always contact you, but if you kind of just like remind them, say, hey, like, you know, it's going to bring people back through your system. Okay, here's a couple tools. Sorry, I went through that really fast, but Creative Hub and Audience Insights. These are two tools that Facebook gives you that are really, really helpful. And I'll just show you where to find those, and you can like mess around with them more. So on like in this menu here, there's, like I said, the main menu, we're gonna find all the fun stuff. In the planning section, there's Creative Hub and Audience Insights. And Creative Hub is like, switch to Creative Hub for Business for free. Let's see here. Under this Get Inspired tab, you can actually see like other ads that people are doing, and it's really helpful when you're trying to create ads. So I want to see an Instagram story ad, or I want to see, let's click Instagram stories. So they give you examples of ads that other people are doing. So it's really helpful when you're trying to get ideas like what's working, what are these big companies doing? You know, like what is Fiat doing on Instagram? I don't know why this isn't playing, but it's really cool. You can go through and kind of get inspiration from what's working, what these like big companies with huge advertising budgets are doing. They have tons of different stuff on here, and you can sort it by like what type of ad do I want to do? Oh, I'm going to do a carousel ad. Like here's a cool one to give you just like ideas and inspiration. So that's the Creative Hub, and you can kind of geek out a lot about that. You can also create mock-ups within this where you're not actually paying for ads, but if you just want to like play with the system and like kind of like get used to creating the creative part of the ad, like the visuals, you can mess around with it and see what it looks like without like paying for it. So that's a really fun place to kind of just mess around. And then audience insights, this is really good for learning more about who like is your ideal customer and what do they like. So on audience insights, I click everyone on Facebook, and then basically you can search different things. So like someone give me like a random interest. Like what is something that someone would be into? Yeah. Is it HAM? Okay, ham radio. Is this it? CQ? Okay, so let's click this. Okay, let's do another one. Ham radio. Ham radio news. Okay, so let's see who likes ham radio on Facebook. We couldn't match. Oh no. It's so niche. Let's try that. Image consulting. So not all the interests will pop up in here, but what's another thing that's related to image consulting? Let's see. So there's a cool thing called, oh, here's shopping and fashion. Shopping. How about, we could do boutiques with that, you think? People who like boutiques? Okay, cool. So we got 90% women. That's, yeah. And then between 25 and 34, that's your main demographic. So this is really helpful for just getting information about like when you're setting up your ads, what type of people are you going to target. Like if you just target men between 55 and 64, it's not going to do well. You know what I mean? But if you're going to target women between 24 and 34, 25 and 34, that's definitely going to help. Now where this gets really kind of creepy and cool, you can see like relationship status, they're married, what type of education they have. You can see like what type of job industries they're in. You can see what type of other pages they're liking. So this is really good for when you're trying to like kind of like get ideas from other brands. So you can be like, oh, they all shop at, you know, Pink Lily Boutique. Never heard of it, but that's the #1 thing that like people in this demographic are liking, you know? So you can get ideas from all of these things. We got Joanna Gaines on there, of course, and page likes, different pages they're liking. So you can really geek out with this tool and get a lot of information about like who you should target. Because a lot of people on Facebook ads, they just are like, I'm gonna boost this post just out to everyone, you know, and it doesn't do well. But if you can really dial in on who you want to target, it's gonna help your ads just be more relevant to those people. So they're Yeah, exactly. So if you're just trying to target those people, you want to have like a really specific message, and then when they see the ad, they're going to actually like it and like not just be like, what is this, you know, on my Facebook feed. You can see the locations they're in. So Alabama is winning right now, Arkansas, Louisiana. So you could also try advertising to these countries or these states. California is really expensive. So if you run ads in California, it's really expensive. But if you have like a business that can be accessed by anyone, if you run ads to these states, it's going to be a lot more affordable. Activities. So yeah, you can really geek out about this. So what I recommend you guys do before you run an ad is create a spreadsheet like this on Google Sheets or Excel, and just like go through the audience tool and just like put like what location are they in, what stores do they shop at, what websites, and you just go through like all these things. So this is one I made for a photography workshop we do. So I was like, photographers, where do they live, what podcasts do they listen to, what type of stuff do they like, what websites are they going, what are they currently buying. So you kind of like go through and like create this like this avatar, basically like this is my ideal person out of these things, and this is where you're going to get your targeting from when you run that ad. Yeah. So I just had a bunch of different categories on here, but like you can just add as many things as you can think of, like I don't know, they drink LaCroix and like they shop at Target or whatever it is. But you want to be kind of strategic about this. Like, so I put like Creative Live on here. That's a website for photographers where people pay for education. So if people are going to pay to come to an educational workshop, I want to know that they're already paying for education somewhere else, right? So you kind of got to think about like what type of people do I want to attract, and like who are they going to be following? Like Susie Stripling, she's a photographer, does a lot of education. They might be following her, and be following these other kind of educators in the space. And then I also had it targeted by location because this workshop was in the Bay Area. So I just kind of, said only sent to people within this radius. So people weren't traveling in forever. I just figured like people would be shopping at B&H Photo. Yeah. So if they're buying gear, they're probably a photographer, maybe. Okay, so Ads Manager. I just want to go quickly over this. Back to here. So Ads Manager is where you're actually like setting up your ads, and it's really kind of confusing at first. But and it's taken me like a while to figure out because like there's all these like tabs and all this different stuff. What ad am I on here? So this I think is the most confusing part is like these tabs here. There's like campaigns, ad sets, and ads, right? And so a good way to remember this, I wrote this down, is okay. So campaign is kind of like your top level folder. This is where you're gonna like create your objective. So say it's like, so right now I have Instagram story ad test. That's my campaign. And then within the campaign, you have ad sets, which are, they are like your targeting. So under Instagram story ad test, I'm doing this test right now on Instagram story ads. And so ad sets, I have like these different targets, right? So I have one for filmmakers, I have one for people who like Tim Ferriss, I have one for people who like entrepreneurship, Gary Vee. And then within the ad sets, that's where the actual ads go. And I know this is like really confusing, but it took me a while to figure out like what all these tabs were. And basically when you're creating an ad, you kind of go through these three things, but it's helpful to know like how they work. So when you want to check on an ad, like, or you want to see the stats or something, you go to the right spot. So if I want to see the stats of these, I go here, or if I want to see the stats of an individual ad, I go there, or if I want to see the stats of the campaign as a whole, I go here. So that's kind of confusing. So if you guys have any questions about like this whole ads manager zone, just let me know. It's a little crazy. I don't very much. I just got so used to using like this ads manager. I do pretty much everything in here. And was it the Power Editor? Aren't they switching people over to ads manager? I heard that they were. Yeah, yeah. I feel like let me see if I can even still get to the Power Editor. Yeah. Don't click boost this post. So I can show you guys actually how I would set up an ad and go through a little bit of targeting, just so you guys can kind of see like that process and how like all this stuff comes into play. So basically, you go to your ads manager and you click create, and start over. So you can see the three tabs here: campaign, ad set, and ad. And you're going to kind of work your way through these. And so the campaign again is where you're going to set your objective. And a lot of people like get really confused about all this stuff, but just like think about really what you want people to do, and then click that one. Like Facebook is really smart, and they'll help you out on what they want. Like they know who's going to click and they know who's going to engage. So like just trust them on this. So if you want people to go to your website, choose traffic. If you want people to like comment and like on your post, do engagement. If you want video views, do video views. I typically will go for traffic because I want people to get to a website where they're going to do something. Once your pixel like is a little more seasoned, you could do conversions, and Facebook will know like what type of people are going to go to your website and then buy something. So if I'm going to want to do conversions, I'll usually do traffic first for a while, test things out, and I'll switch to conversions. I typically don't do brand awareness or reach unless I'm just like trying to get a bunch of likes on something. But traffic is probably what most people are going to be doing, or conversions, or if you have like a video you want to blast out, maybe video views. Lead gen and messages. Yeah, video views has to be on Facebook. But if you were doing YouTube, you could do traffic to a YouTube video. Yeah, that would be good to get more views. Lead generation is like within Facebook. People don't have to leave Facebook, and you can like generate leads, but it's typically a little bit more expensive. And then messages is a new feature where you get them to send you a message on Facebook, like through Messenger to your Facebook business account. So I'm gonna do traffic, and I'll just say just delete. This is where I name the campaign. I usually will put like the date on here because it gets really confusing when you're like doing a bunch of different stuff. And then next, so you see we got through campaign. Now we're done in ad set. This is where you do your traffic, offer, audience, placements, budget, and schedule. So this is like basically the main page you're going to be on. And this is where all of your research you've done is going to come in handy. So say you want people to go to your website. Right here is where you're going to set your audience. So this is where you can use all of those audiences that you built out earlier. So it could be like, hey, they visited my website within 3 days or whatever. So you can use custom audiences. Maybe you want to send something out just to your clients, like a thank you video, like thanks for visiting me at the bridal show. Like you can do that through here. But if you're creating a custom or not a custom audience, if you don't want to do audience, you would do detailed targeting here, and that's where like all these things would come in. So basically, I'd be like, so say for what were we saying? It was boutique shoppers. I would do like women aged 25 to 34, 35. Something in there. I mean, you can be relaxed with this. You could even do a bigger age set and then narrow it down later. I usually will say they speak English because that's what my ad is going to be in. And then this is where you would add like detailed targeting. So I forget the name of that one. Was it Pink Lily? Pink Lily. So right here is where you're going to start adding targeting. And the number to watch on this side here is the potential reach. So this is going to tell you when I put in the Pink Lily Boutique, I can potentially reach 300,000 people that like that page. Now, if I add something else in this, it's going to increase that number, right? So what I like to do is click suggestions, and oh, maybe they like the Mint Julep Boutique as well, and the Pink Coconut Boutique, and the Lime Lush Boutique. Look at all these names. That's awesome. Yeah. So you can see like my audience is going up. So maybe I would do all these boutiques. Wow, there's so many. Sassy Chic. So now I have like 900,000 people. But I think where this gets fun is when you narrow your audience. So maybe they like all these boutiques, but I want people who own a car between $20,000 and $30,000. Right, so that's where you can really target. Or are you like, I don't want people who make between 70,000, or let's see, income over $500,000. Income between, let's say, $75,000 and $99,000. So it's crazy. Like Facebook knows all this about people. Or you can target like, yeah, what type of car they own, or like, so you can really dial in like, who is my people? Who are the people who are buying from me? Like, maybe their education level, maybe their behaviors. So I recommend just going through this browse section and just like look at all this stuff. It's crazy. So like for this one, I would probably do, let's see, there's one called like, oh, maybe it's in demographics. Home. I mean, if you guys are in the wedding industry, there's all these life events. So you can do newly engaged within 3 months, newly engaged within 6 months, newlywed, recently moved, moms. So there's all these mom categories. You can do fit moms, green moms, soccer moms, stay-at-home moms, trendy moms. I'd probably do like trendy moms for this one. I'm not sure about that one. I don't know if, oh yeah, there is divorced relationship status. 5 million people. So if you want to do trendy moms who are divorced, who like boutiques, see this is a very specific audience. You know, trendy moms who are divorced, who like all these boutiques. That's only 28,000 people. That's really targeted. So you can really, really geek out on this and really dial in your audience. But what I recommend as you're starting is not putting in too many things here, because then you don't know what's working and what's not working. So I don't know if like Lime Lush Boutique is the magic key, or Magnolia. So what I do is I create like a bunch of different ads all for one thing. So I would just be like, just Lime Lush, just Magnolia, or maybe two things. So you'd be like, just Lime Lush and Trendy Moms, just Magnolia and Trendy Moms. And I would do all of these ads for $5 a day. $5 a day is the minimum you can do on Facebook. And then I just let those run for a few days and check out the results. I turn off what's not working and scale up what is working. So that's the whole name of the game with Facebook, is just testing, because you don't want to just like guess. You want to just really let the audience tell you like what is working. And that's what I'm doing with these Instagram story test ads. So I have like, how many ads do I have running right now? So these are all these ads I have running right now on Instagram, and I'm just testing these out. So I can see when I look at the data, okay, so there's these ones about passive income, there's these ones about filmmakers, and you can see what's working and what's not working, and then the cost. So I could sort this by what's getting the most clicks. So it's this filmmakers one, and my cost per click right there. And you can really like geek out about this data pretty hardcore, but I just basically will go through these and I'll turn off like, okay, this one only has 12 clicks, let's turn it off, you know what I mean? This one is 81 cents a click, 85 cents. These ones are like a little bit higher and I'm not getting that many clicks, like let's turn those off, you know what I mean? So it's all just like testing and seeing what works. And then once I find one that really works, like this one is doing pretty well, the cost per click is fairly low, so I'd probably like duplicate this and then make more ads to those people, because they're all liking this ad. It's working, a lot of people are clicking through. So this is kind of like the testing part of Facebook. So when you duplicate, so it depends on what tab you're on. So I would duplicate the ad here, or I would duplicate the ad set. So like this is my filmmaker targeting ad. So I would duplicate that probably, or I would just add, I guess, more ads within it. I think you could add more under here. I know the tabs are all really confusing. If you duplicate the campaign, it would duplicate like all those ads. So I usually will start from the single ads and duplicate those. But yeah, that's what I recommend doing, is just testing.
How long would you say you test for before you turn them off for scale?
I do like usually 3 days at $5 to $10 a day, and then I like to see at least like 1,000 impressions before I like make a decision about anything. Because when you first run an ad, I guess I don't have any on right now, but right here. See how it says initial learning complete? Facebook has this new thing where they have this like learning phase, and it takes like a day or two before they like kind of like know what's working, what's not working. So yeah, you definitely want to wait for the learning phase to be over before you touch anything. Like don't touch anything. After you set up an ad, don't touch anything until it's like run for a few days, and then mess with it. And you can tweak things from there. Okay, let me go back here. Targeting, we kind of talked about that. I think, let's see. The only other thing I just want to mention is when you're creating the ad, let's continue where we left off. So when you're doing your targeting here, I don't recommend clicking this button, expand interests. If you do it, I would do a test where you do one and you don't do one, because when you do this, you don't know, like, it's basically saying like you can increase or expand interest, let Facebook expand the interest to whatever they want if it's going to lower your cost per click, which sounds great, but then you don't really know what's working. So that's why I don't do that one. And as far as like your reach goes, I shoot for between 500,000 and a million people. That's usually an audience number I go after, where it's like enough people where you're not going to be like serving ads to the same people over and over, and not so many people that it's going to be really like competitive. And then the last thing to know on this page is the placements. So this is like where your ads are going to show up. And I never do automatic placements. I always do edit placements, and I only do Facebook feeds and Instagram feeds for main ads. Like if you're doing an Instagram story ad, of course you're just going to do like stories. But I always turn off Audience Network, and I always turn off Messenger. Facebook feeds and Instagram feeds, these are like the premium placements. So if you have an ad, you want it in these spots, it's gonna be a little bit pricier, but the customer like quality is just gonna be so much better. The only reason, and Facebook really wants you to do Audience Network, they have this little warning down here, like do Audience Network because it will make it cheaper. But Audience Network is like all these other sites and things like that. The only reason I would use Audience Network is for like retargeting ads when you want to just be like everywhere. Like if you guys have ever gone to a website and like looked at something and then you see it like all over the place, like that's the Audience Network, where you'll see it like on all these websites and things like that. But mainly I'm just doing Facebook feeds and Instagram feeds. That's where you're gonna have the most success with Facebook ads. You're not gonna be wasting money with like the right column. Like no one looks at the right column on Facebook. Marketplace is an interesting one. That's a new feature, and it's like Facebook's like Craigslist, you know. That could be cool for product shop owners to try, but I've never tried it out. And then one other tip is do this only connected on Wi-Fi button. That just is like people are going to be a little more engaged when they're on their phone and they're at home or like connected to Wi-Fi. If they're like on the train or like, you know, looking at stuff while they're traveling, like they're not going to be as like they're not going to click through your stuff as much or watch your ads. So I always click the when connected to Wi-Fi button right there. And then down here is where you're going to say your daily budget. $5 is the minimum, so I recommend just starting with that, and then scaling up from there if it's working. And then last thing, I always check this when you get charged option here, and I always like to have it on link click. So you're only getting charged when people actually click the link. You're not getting charged when they just look at your ad. That's what impression is. So that's kind of like an overview of the ad set. It's the most complicated part. But then once you get through that, the last part is like your creative. This is where you're gonna choose like, do I want to do a video, a photo, slideshow, collection, all your kind of creative things, like what website you want to have them go to, what headline, all these fun things. And you can dial that in to make it look like however you want. Or if you want ideas, go to that creative hub and get ideas from there. Okay, let's go on to, okay, I actually just did this ad creation walkthrough for you guys. Yeah, we did that. Okay, so let's go over some like strategies, and I'll show you guys an example of a couple ads just to like inspire you. I said this already, but like it's all about testing. Like Facebook is like all about testing. Don't just run one ad, like run a minimum of 3 ads and test them all against each other. Because you'll like the more you run, the more you're gonna be able to see like what works and what doesn't work. Don't overcomplicate. Facebook is way smarter. You know, like they want people to run ads, so they want your ads to be profitable. They're gonna help you like dial in stuff. So you gotta kind of trust the process, trust the algorithm, like the lookalike audiences and things like that. They're really powerful, and it's helpful to have. It's really helpful to have the pixel installed on your website throughout your whole website so you can see what's working and what's not. You know, because if you don't have the pixel installed, you don't know if people are actually going to your website. You don't know where they're going. You don't know what they're buying. Let's see, let's go to the last month.
Do you install just one pixel on your site or a pixel on every page?
So you just install one pixel, and then you can set up these things called custom conversions right here. And that's where you can tell Facebook, like when someone gets to this page, they're doing this, you know, because let's see if I can go to, so Rainmakers Academy, we have a page view. That's just like they visited any page on our website. we have a view content is similar, but it's a different page. Lead is like after they put in their email, they're going to be taken to another page. And then purchase is like the thank you page after they purchase. So you can tell Facebook, like, let's see, I think you go to custom conversions, and then you create a custom conversion. And then basically you can set the category like, oh, they purchased something, and the URL will contain like whatever that URL is. So after they purchase something, put in the URL, and then Facebook knows like when someone gets to that thank you page, they are considered a purchase. And that's really helpful to have if you have some sort of, even if like you're doing booking like not on your website, have some sort of like thank you page you send people to, so that when they do buy from you, you can send them to that page and it's like going to track them as a purchase. Because then you can go, when you're looking at all the data and stuff, you can see like what's working and what's not working. Because it's kind of hard to tell, like with some things, who's buying, who's getting all the way through your system. Here's a few tips, like when you guys are doing Facebook ads. Like, so when people are scrolling through the feed, like there's 3 big things you want to do. Is like, one, to get them to stop scrolling. That's like one of the biggest things, like get their attention somehow. And just like take note of ads that get your attention. You know, when you're going through Facebook and you actually stop on an ad, like just take notes of that and be like, oh, like why did that get my attention? Was it the color? Was it they were like waving? Or like were they lighting something on fire? Like whatever it is, like take note of that and like write it down, because you want to be able to like get people to stop scrolling. That's like the hardest part. Engagement is number 2, and that's like what are the first few lines that, you know, like how did they write it? Maybe they threw like some emojis in there or like something like that that's like gonna get your attention to get you to start reading the post. And then lastly, you want them to take positive action. So whether that's watching a video, reading like this long ad, clicking a link, whatever it is. The first and easiest way to run Facebook ads just to like generate leads or get emails or get people kind of into your world is freebies. A lot of people do this, and I'll show you guys some examples of these. And I'm sure you've seen these all over this place. Like, hey, check out this free case study on whatever, you know what I mean? Oh, that wasn't an ad. Hold on. Okay, so here's one for gym owners that popped up. And yeah, it's a super long ad, but it's like, download the free case study, apply on the next page, right? So you're giving away something for free that someone in your audience would really love. So whether that's like, hey, like, here's 5 fashion tips that like anyone can do, you know what I mean? I don't know the niche super well, but like, you know, like, or like, here's like 5 recipes that, 5 recipes that like got the most likes on Instagram this year, or something like that. But make it like really specific to the people you're targeting, so that they're gonna click through and like want to download your case study, and then you have their email, and you can use that email for retargeting. You can use it for getting them into your world and selling your product. Here's another one, social lab. Access the very template. So this is a free Facebook ad client proposal document, and you click through her page and get this free thing. So think about like what you have in your business that you like is valuable, that you could give away for free, and create an ad about that thing. And you can build your newsletter list, build your audience, like all through giving away that item through Facebook ads. Next, we're going to talk about advanced strategies. These are some really cool ways. They take a little bit more work, but like these are some really powerful ways I've seen people using Facebook ads. The first one I think works really well for local businesses, and this is like video retargeting. So the way to do this would be like make a video that's like super relevant to people in Chico. I was thinking of like the guys who are starting a coffee shop, you know, in Chico, a coffee shop co-working space. Like if they made a video like, here's us trying all the coffee and reviewing it in Chico, like all the best coffee shops in Chico. And it was a video just about that. It wasn't an ad for anything. And what you do is with videos, you can retarget people who watch the whole video. So if someone watches a whole video on the best coffee shops in Chico, like they're interested in coffee, they live in Chico, you know what I mean? So with video ads, you can retarget a percentage of the people who watch. So like, whether it's like, you know, whatever, like some video that has nothing to do with an ad. It's just like getting people's attention in that niche and it's really hyper targeted to them, then you create an ad of that only goes out to the people who watch that whole video, if that makes sense.
So it's just like an interest.
Yeah, so it's just an interest video, and people do this all the time with like viral videos. It'll be like couple goals, and it's like this like funny skit of like this couple in a car and they're like doing things, but that's like targeting a certain audience, right? So people who are watching that video all the way through, people who are sharing it, they are being retargeted to with products for couples. The next way to do this is like a value campaign, and this is really similar, but it's basically where you just hop on Facebook, you do a video just giving value to people. And it catches people off guard because they think it's an ad, but then they're just like getting a ton of value from it. Like maybe it's teaching something, it's like educating them on something. And then basically I have this graphic here, if you can see this. Let me make this bigger. So this graphic here, basically you'd have video number 1, like, hey, this is top tips on whatever. And then anyone who watches that video all the way through, they're the only people who are going to get video number 2, right? And then only the people who watch that video all the way through are going to get video number 3. And then only people who watch that video all the way through are going to get your sales video that's like actually going to ask them to buy something from you or like become a client or whatever it is. So by the time they get through all these videos, they've gone from like very cold traffic, like someone who doesn't know you at all, to someone who like loves you and they're like ready to buy your thing. So you retarget the people who watch 95% of the video, and that's something you can do on Facebook. Create an audience of only people who watch 95% of the video. And then once you're running this ad for a long time, so this is one we're doing for like the local gym. So he does like all these like tips about like, here's, you know, what I buy from the grocery store. Here's how to do a pull-up. So he has all these videos, and as you're doing this longer, you can, instead of just targeting like random people on Facebook, you can start sending people who, you can create a lookalike audience from people who watched all these videos and send those people into video 1. So that's like, it's getting really kind of crazy complicated, but the whole thing is retargeting, right? It's just like figuring out who's interested in your stuff and then sending them more stuff that they're going to be interested in. Okay, so this is like a value campaign. This is where someone's just like teaching something. So this popped up on my feed. I didn't watch the whole video because I don't want to get more of his ads, but he's literally not selling anything in this video. He's just teaching about like the 12 foundations of something I should have been taught in school, right? So if you get all the way through this video, you watch 95% of it, you're going to get his next video where he's going to give you another thing. So that's an example of like the value campaign. Here's another one. Why you stuck on Instagram? So this guy's like talking about like, you know, that's an attention getting ad when that pops up. I didn't actually like this ad very much, but yeah, he's got this whole thing, why you stuck on Instagram. He's like teaching on a whiteboard. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so what she's asking is like, you, instead of just taking an existing post on Facebook, making something that's specific just for the ad. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's what I do mostly. Unless you have a post that's like already like got a lot of engagement on Facebook. You know, I know some people will just do Facebook Lives on their business page, and they just like wait for one to like hit it off with people, and then they turn that into an ad because they know it already works. So before they're spending money on something, they're just going to do like Instagram Lives every day about a different topic. And then as soon as one starts like getting a lot of likes and comments from people, you kind of know, okay, this one like struck a chord. I'm going to boost that one out. Don't just click the boost button though. Go in the back end of the ad manager, set up your audiences, and then when you get to that creative section where you get to choose what video you want, you can choose from your library of like existing stuff. So that's what we do for the gym. They post ads there, or they post videos on their page like all the time, and we just find like the ones that are doing the best, and we turn those into like the value video type ads. Yeah, so I don't think they do Facebook Lives anymore, but Facebook Lives are really like, Facebook prefers them right now. They're kind of stressful to do, but like you'll get more reach if you do Facebook Lives. So if you just do Facebook Lives on your page, I can't find any videos. But yeah, here's like one. Like this is like a kind of like a value video type post, and only got 8 likes, so we probably won't like blast that one out to people. But if it starts getting a lot of comments and likes, then we will advertise it. free plus shipping, this one's kind of crazy. I'll like post this slide, but like this is another thing people do in e-commerce. Do we have e-commerce? Okay, yeah, so we have some e-commerce. But free plus shipping is a big thing that's going on right now where they offer like a free product and then you pay for shipping. But then after the fact, like there's like an upsell and a downsell. And it just like, it takes a lot of math to figure out so you're profitable. But if you do it right, certain small percentage are going to take the upsell and certain small percentage are going to take the downsell, and it's going to pay for your ads. And it doesn't sound like it would work because you're giving away stuff for free, but there's ways to make it work. This is like one of my funnels here, a free plus shipping offer. I have this little toy called the Pendama. And so it's free. If you just go right here, you sign up, you get it for free plus shipping. The shipping, it basically is like a break even. Like I don't make any money on this. But where I make money is when people go for the upsell, which is, oh, do you want to buy a 3-pack? So if they want to buy a 3-pack, they buy a 3-pack, and that's when I make money. And that's like a small percentage of people, but that ends up paying for the ads that I drive to this page. So that's the free plus shipping technique. And then Facebook Messenger. And then Facebook Messenger is like, I think one of the newest things that people are doing, using Facebook Messenger bots and getting people into like a Facebook Messenger sequence and using that instead of like emails, just doing Facebook Messenger. So that's kind of a more advanced technique, but you guys may have seen this. And Facebook Messenger, Facebook's cracking down on right now, so I don't know if you can start it, but in the future, I think this will be something where it's like, comment joy and we'll personally message you a 50% off code. Like if you ever see something that's like that, that's a Facebook Messenger ad. And there's a program called ManyChat that can like scrape all the comments, and anyone who comments joy, it'll message them automatically. So you're not having to do that as your business. But again, Facebook, I think they put a pause on Facebook Messenger bots, like applications or something right now. So I would wait on that. Yeah, they're kind of cracking down on it. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So Facebook Messenger is definitely more intimate, and you got to be like, respect people's privacy and stuff. But it gets like way crazier open rates than emails. Like when you send an email newsletter out, it might get like, 10 to 20% people open it, but Facebook Messenger is like 95%. So that's why people are doing it. If you want to learn more about Facebook ads, I have a couple of recommendations. This is a Facebook Ads Academy by Maxwell Finn. He's the guy, he started this company called Startup Drugs, and they sell like motivational t-shirts and stuff for entrepreneurs, the posters. I think they sold the company, but he's like a master of Facebook ads. And I recommend that course if you want to go like more in depth in it. If you're like super overwhelmed with all this stuff, I would just recommend hiring a professional who does Facebook ads. We actually hired like a Facebook ad agency last month that helps us out with some stuff. So it's good to know it on your own, so you kind of know what's happening and like learn it. But like it's like with anything, like you want like the best, you should hire someone who's like, that's what they do. But I recommend like this course it's $1,000, but I think if you go to his checkout page and then you leave, he will retarget you with ads that give you a lower price. So that's just a pro tip. And you can tell he's really good at ads because if you go to this website and then leave, like you'll see his ads everywhere. So that's how I know he's like super good at ads. So that's the cool thing about hiring a Facebook ad agency. Like if they're really good, like they're gonna get your attention. Yeah. So does anyone have any questions about Facebook ads? I know it's kind of like super overwhelming. Like it's kind of a crazy platform, but again, like I said, like just try testing things and just do $5 a day, because then you're not like losing a ton of money, and then like you're not losing your money at all. You're kind of like buying market research, and you can see what works, see what doesn't work, see what type of audiences work, and then kind of go from there. So then when you do want to run an ad that's a little bit higher budget, you kind of know like, oh, I should send this out to trendy moms who, like this and like that. And you kind of know like what that audience is through the testing process.
I just didn't know if you're duplicating the same ads or you're isolated.
Yeah, I'll show you where to do that here. Basically, when you're in the ad set, start where you left off. So when you get to this ad set, which is like the placement section, oops, placements down here, edit placements, and then you would just choose Instagram feed, just like that. And then just know that Instagram has some limits. So like if you're doing a video, it has to be under 60 seconds. And they'll tell you like if your video is too long, they'll be like, this doesn't work for Instagram, or the format's off. And then story ads is really big right now. I recommend trying that as well. Story ads, you have to do, I would do one that's like just story ads, because it has to be that like vertical format, but they're so easy to create because you can literally just go on your phone and be like, check out this new product, like swipe up if you want it, and then you can run story ads. So yeah, Instagram I think is really great. Yeah, you can. Like when you kind of get into like that whole campaign overview, ads manager, you can kind of dive into placements and what's working. So I'm tracking all these, all these categories, but in this little plus section, you can add other things that you want to track, and there's like so many things that you can track. So I think there's one here for like placements, so you can figure out what's working, what's not working. Yeah. And then having the pixel on your website would be important too, because right now you can't track like who follows you on Instagram, but you can track like who clicks through to your website. So I think having an Instagram ad with like a call to action that's like go to our website, then you'll be able to know like who's clicking, because that helps. You won't be able to click through. Cool. Any other questions about Facebook ads? I mean, like, it's just crazy how much they know about people. When you start diving into like all the demographics and like all the targeting and behaviors and things like that, it's pretty crazy, but it's helpful if you're trying to like, if you really believe in your product, you really believe in your message, you want to get it in front of the right people. Like, it's really helpful to know that type of thing, so you can get it in front of those people who are going to love it. Sure. So relevance score is kind of like how relevant it is to the audience you're serving it to, and 10 is the highest. So you want, like, the higher your relevance score, the lower your cost is going to be. If you're serving them an ad that's like a 2 or 3, it's going to cost you way more, and they're not going to like it, But if it's like a 9, so like this ad right now I'm running for this website called Steven's Free Stuff. It's like people who like free stuff. So I just run it to like all these people who like coupons and like all these like, deals of the day type websites. And these people love it. It's a 9 and 8, and I get tons of like leads because it's a 9 or 8. So you definitely want that relevance score to be high, because Facebook will give you better prices. So that's a good thing to test too. Like maybe turn off the ones that get lower relevance score, or change your copy, change your, your wording, your messaging, your creative. Yeah. Or yeah, like kind of just like how much they like it almost.